start or start? You want me to go up there and start? Oh,
It's been relegated to the space.
what I would think.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And everyone online, hello. My name is Andrew Dunn. I will be trying to set the tone for the day, I guess. Talks about, well, Frankie told me we were talking about, you know, the way we always sort of go towards the negative, putting ourselves down. And so this is a song I wrote. I have a lot of inspiration, it seems, taking out the garbage, because there's another song that I'll be doing later, taking out the garbage. Anyway, this was about sort of the everyday heroes that, you know, they don't go rescue people, but they put dinner on the table every night and they do all the stuff they're supposed to do. This world can be tragic, each and every day. Seems no matter how you try, nothing's ever right. And anything you do or say, this world is a blessing, a gift waiting to be seen. There seems no middle ground, it's either up or down, nothing in between. I am a husband, I am a teacher, I am a father, I am a brother, I'm a son and I'm a friend. What you want to. I am only just a man, and all that I can say is on any given day I do the best I can. We're all battling the boredom, trying to deal with who we are. We only have our expectations, we can never reach that far. Yeah, I'm a husband, I am a father, I am a brother, I'm a son and I'm a friend. Think of me what you want to. I am only just a man, and all that I can say is on any given day I do the best I can. It seems the grass is always greener anywhere but here. We're afraid if we stop moving, we might just disappear. So we run until we're ragged, beat down to the floor. What for? What for? I am not a rich man. Yes, I am. I am not a movie star.
Yes, you are.
But I take out the trash, I put the kids to bed. That's what makes heroes who they are. Yeah, I'm a husband, I am a teacher, I am a father, I am a brother, I'm a son and I'm a friend. Think of me what you want to. I am only just a man, and all that I can say is on any given day I do the best I can. And all that I can say is on any given day I do the the best I can.
Oh my goodness, Andrew. Whenever you sing, like my heart just melts and I start wanting to cry because it's so beautiful. So that's Andrew Dunn, who's with us with his live music. We're going to take advantage of him today.
Whoa, hey!
He'll do 2 more songs. And my name is Frankie Timmers, and I'm the spiritual director here, and I'm so glad we get to be together this morning. We are Center for Spiritual Living Morristown, and those of you who are here, it's always so nice to be together in person. I'm so proud of us that we've been able to continue that, even from COVID on. And I'm also very grateful that we've learned to do a live stream with a very occasional glitch. And those of you that are joining us in the live stream, either today or any tomorrow, we're so grateful you're here with us. Our desire is to simply inspire you and to remind all of you how amazing you really are, no matter what you think or when you think you aren't. So that's kind of what the talk is about today. And Gail Belluardo is our assisting practitioner. She's available afterwards for Treatment Express. The word express means it's a quickie treatment. And if you love more, we invite you to reach out to any of our practitioners or any practitioners anywhere. There's even an online prayer service in Centers for Spiritual Living. I hope that you will all reach out to that very often. I do, because I definitely need that. And she will guide us in a spiritual practice. So we do a couple of things here, but before we start our Namaste practice and an opening treatment, I just want to let you know that we have some really interesting things happening at our center. Tonight is restorative yoga with Hannah Grotkowski. She's a wonderful teacher. We've only had 2 classes and I love it. It is very relaxing. Anyone can do it. And it's so important for us to stay flexible, right? And that's just what it's about. And it's from 7 to 8 and it's online. You need to reach out to her to get the Zoom link. On Friday, we have Gail doing the Healing Circle. That's at 7 o'clock in this space. On Saturday, there's the Men Who Care men's meeting online. That's been going on for 22 years. So any guy that wants to be a part of it, that's really wonderful. And on Sunday, we have a memorial celebration for Carolyn Cirilli, who used to be on our leadership council. She passed away in August, and we are finally doing a memorial celebration for her here right after Sunday celebration. There was a little potluck happening right in here on Thursday, so thank you to all those who made that happen, especially Kathy and Jean, and anybody that showed up. I heard you had a great time, which is always fun. And I want you to know that Andrew has brought his CDs. So they're on the back table, and he's simply asking a love offering. And I am very much for supporting musicians. So my invitation to you is make it a generous love offering so that we can support Andrew.
I'd rather you have the music.
Yes, he'd rather you have the music. And then Susan Mead is still teaching class, so anybody can hop on. That's Monday nights. There's a few more classes. And then on March 24th, we have another sound bath with Kat Roman right here in this space. That's always wonderful, too. So let's do our Namaste practice, which is where we put our hands together and say Namaste, which is the Sanskrit for the divinity in me, blesses the divinity in you. So remember to give and to receive, and do as many as you like. So, Namaste. Namaste. So you all did this beautiful giving. I trust that you also received it. Yeah? Because you can tell, right? There is a giving and a receiving happening. So let's treat our word for affirmative prayer. So let's take a moment to withdraw our attention from the outer world and bring it to the inner world of our heart of hearts. That place where we know only love. That place where we experience our alignment with the divine presence. That place where we remember that we are spirit individualized and individualizing, for there is no end. And it's always happening. So by being tuned in to this spiritual happening, we realize that this allows us to release anything that doesn't serve us and to embrace all that which is of the highest, of our divine comfort that is ever giving of itself to us, so that we may navigate our way through life, remembering the truth and living it in the highest and best ways, and at the same time having deep compassion for ourselves and each other where we falter, which is so much a part of life, that we realize that they are actual gifts for our awakening. And so today we celebrate life, we celebrate ourselves, we celebrate each other, and we celebrate our spiritual evolution. And for that, we can only be deeply grateful, simply because we're hearing these words and we're aware of what they mean. And so it is.
And so it is.
So, did you know that we are hardwired for negativity? There's a Harvard study that talks about this. It's called negativity bias. It's very much a part of being human. Ernest Holmes says, and I've been trying to find where he wrote that, but I've been saying it for years, but he says our human tendency is toward the negative. You all know this. I can line each one of you up on a stage and have 100 people tell you how amazing you are, and somebody can say to you, but you're fat. But you need a haircut. But that outfit, what do you think you're going to focus on? That. What do you think you're going to remember and mull over and be angry about and frustrated about and wake up from? That. Most of the time. Not all the time, not always, but you all know this because you remember it. Some people that you care about or that you love, you may have been loved well, but they may have done that one thing, said that one thing that you just cannot let go of. You just cannot forget. Because that is your default as a human being, to focus on the negative, to look for what's wrong. And it's very toxic. It's very poisonous. And you know that because we live in a world where there's now a saying that goes like this: fear porn. Oh. We live in a world filled with fear porn. You only have to turn on the news. And you know, be careful, our politics, be careful, climate change, be careful of all the migrants coming in, be careful, poisoned water, poisoned food. It's there all the time. The good news hardly has a chance to make its way into the regular TV channels. Thank God for Reasons to Be Cheerful, which is a wonderful website that you can get a blog, or the Good News, which most people aren't really interested in. Because we're so drawn to what's wrong because it's a human tendency. And it is the reason why we suffer, why we struggle. It's also something that we might notice when we're hanging around people, how people love to talk about how horrible their childhood was, or how horrible their ex was. We love to repeat those stories from the past that just don't serve us anymore. And the one reason all this is happening is because 2.5 million years ago, it was a survival skill. We had to pay attention to what could maybe hurt or harm us. And so we looked for what was wrong just so that we could survive. And it still seems to be a survival skill, except in my humble opinion, it doesn't work anymore. And so, as that survival skill, we can look at that as those of us who are on the spiritual path, those of us who believe in God, believe in spirit, believe in the universe, those of us who are students of metaphysics, those of you that are now listening, those of you that are here, I'm assuming that we're all on a spiritual path. The spiritual path's default is not fear porn. It's not what's wrong. It's not about how we've been criticized, harmed, or hurt. It's about the very truth of our being that is ever within us, looking for us to discover it and to live it in greater and greater ways in our own lives, but also in the world around us, so that we can participate in what the vision is for Centers for Spiritual Living, creating a world that works for who?
Everyone.
Everyone. Everyone. So the theme for February has been divine discomfort. And we've talked about how healthy it is to be uncomfortable because it reveals our negative bias. It reveals our tendency. It reveals the reason why we struggle and suffer and have problems. We've taken it in all kinds of directions, and today we wrap it up. And we wrap it up because we want to make a difference. We want to experience life in a different way. I love what Marianne Williamson said years ago, where she said, hate has talked so loudly for so long. Greed has talked so loudly for so long. Liars have talked so loudly for so long. Love has got to stop whispering. Love has got to stop whispering. If we cannot love ourselves unconditionally, we're spreading hate. Not just to ourselves, our bodies, our minds, our hearts, our soul, but to the world. And so that's not a shaming thing like you better. No, it's just a thing of noticing, becoming aware, and doing something with it that allows us to experience our true nature instead of staying so focused on the lies. And so we move beyond discomfort into divine discomfort, where we ultimately must find, as individualized expressions of the one, divine comfort. I know we try to find it in chocolate. I know that.
It's not there.
I know we try to find it in food, in sex, in looking for that perfect relationship, in more stuff, more clothes, travel, a better relationship, all that. It's so interesting, right? How we could just unconsciously do that. But we know in the end it can only be found within. And so we are hardwired spiritually for love. We are spiritually hardwired for truth, capital T. We're spiritually hardwired for all those qualities. Thomas Trowers calls them love, light, peace, power, beauty, joy, wisdom, the 7 qualities of spirit. We're hardwired for that. And we're so incredibly strong and resilient that we don't even see it. We don't even believe it. I mean, the fact that you're here today means that you're incredibly resilient and strong. You got up out of bed. You drove here or sat as a passenger. You probably had a cup of coffee and maybe some breakfast. You dressed yourselves. Yes. Wow. That's amazing. How come we dismiss that? How come we don't realize that that's a reflection of how brilliant, how strong, and how resilient we all are? We forget that because we're in our default, our human default. Probably you woke up and you went, oh God. Or, oh, I can't wear this because I look fat. Or maybe you're like, oh, I ate the wrong thing for breakfast. It's probably bad for me. I shouldn't have so much coffee. How many of you judged yourself just this morning, even a tiny bit? Right? That's the default. How does that serve you? Don't answer it. But ask yourself, how does that serve you? And how come we don't even think about that? How come we just keep doing it over and over and over again? And how healthy do you think that is for us? Those are powerful questions that we must ask ourselves, because the truth is, discomfort is for us. It's saying, hey, you're ready to give that one up. Hey, you're ready to grow. Hey, you're ready to be free. And so the whole idea of 100 phrases and one critique, how about we can look at that critique and say, what is that about? And most of the time it's because of our conditioning, and if we don't heal it, it's going to show up everywhere we go. Right? And so that's the healing work that all of us must do. And the more we do that healing work, the more free we are, the more we thrive, the more we flourish, the more healthy we are, the more we are in service to the greater good. And so we get to notice where the critique is really inside. The part of us that says, yeah, resilient chameleons. They are, but not me, obviously, because, and then we have this list, right? And so we pay attention to that, and the more we pay attention to that, the more we capture the truth of our being. You and I are so strong, so resilient, so powerful, so beautiful, so magnificent, so unique, so vibrant, so alive. That's what we want to cultivate. That's what we want to make our new bias, our spiritual bias. And so that's what we go to whenever we find ourselves struggling. That's where we go, like, oh, right, well, let me turn to that spiritual resilience and strength within me. Let me turn to that truth within me and reflect on that and think it through and claim it and own it in a bigger way. And so it's about letting it tip, right? It's like noticing the negative bias, noticing the truth of our spiritual bias, and doing the work until it tips. Because the negative bias will never go away as long as you and I are in a physical human body. It's just a part of life, but it's what we do with it. And so there's this very powerful story that I want to share with you. It's an old story. Some of you may have already heard it. It's the story of Kisa Gotami. It's a long, long, long time ago. It's a very old and ancient story. And Kisa was a young woman from a very wealthy family. She was happily married to a very important merchant. But when her son was a year old, her only son was a year old, he got very ill and died suddenly. Kisa Gotami was struck with grief, as you can imagine. She could not bear the death of her child. Weeping and groaning, she took her dead baby in her arms and went from house to house, begging all the people in the town for ways to bring her child back to life. Of course, nobody could help her, but she just would not give up. And then finally she came across a Buddhist monk who said to her, you need to go see the Buddha himself, because I can't help you, and I don't know any other monks who can help you. So she carried her dead baby to the Buddha and told him her sad story. He listened with patience and compassion, and then said to her, Kisa Gotami, There's only one way to solve your problem and to bring your baby back to life. Go and find me 4 or 5 mustard seeds from any family in which there has never been death or loss. She was filled with hope, and she set off straight away to find such a household. But very soon, she discovered that every family she visited had experienced the death of at least one person. At last, she understood what the Buddha had wanted her to find out for herself. That suffering is a part of life. Death comes to all of us. Once Kisa Gautami accepted the fact that death is inevitable, she could stop her grieving. She took the child's body away and later returned to the Buddha to become one of his followers. That story is still true for all of us. If each of you would put up your hand and share with me what your greatest suffering is, somebody else in the room would say, "Me too. I understand. You are not alone." Those are important affirmations. If you are not getting them, then come to me. Go to Gail, Lori, our practitioners. Because we are here to be like the Buddha, to remind you that you are not alone and that you are so strong and so resilient and so powerful, and that the presence and the power of divine love is already within you to guide you, to support you, if only you will listen and attend to that experience. And so the truth is, what we believe in our teaching is that we're not here to suffer. Suffer we will, to some degree or other, but that's not why we're here. Some people really believe that. You know that, right? Some people really believe they're here to suffer. We are not here to suffer, but that our suffering is not a punishment. I grew up with that belief. Your suffering is your punishment. Suffering is to grow you and to teach you and to show you that there is more to life than we can even imagine. And we are here to thrive, and it's possible for each and every one of us. Always, no matter what we believe. And then out of that, we discover how resilient we are, and with that resilience, we are in service to life, in service to the world, a part of creating a world that works for everyone. And what that is for you, I don't know. I know what it is for me. But that's why we awaken every morning and say, "Universe, how may I serve today? How may I be of service?" And then we listen long enough until we are guided. And so then we notice that negative bias, that voice inside, and we notice all the layers that it has. And we deal with it head on by doing our spiritual practices. Your prayers, your affirmative prayers, spiritual mind treatments, your affirmations, your meditations, your visualizations, your acts of service, you're taking your classes, you're doing your readings. So that when you feel the discomfort, you're aware of it, and you can use it and work with it to grow. If you have the same discomfort in a particular area now that you had last year, you're focused on the negative bias. You're in the human experience and you're milking it for all it's worth. The whole idea is to turn to the spiritual bias of that, which is the opposite, that wants to be lived by means of you. And so we keep turning to that spiritual truth and our spiritual practices. And if you say, "I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know how to do it, I can't do it right now because life is too hard," then you reach out for somebody. I am telling you, when I work with clients, they change, they heal, they're not the same. I am surprised how few of you reach out to practitioners. How many people reach out to you for practitioner sessions?
Several, not a lot.
Couple a
Yeah,
week?
couple.
You? Couple a week? Me? Maybe one a week? We're here for you. We're here to listen. We're here to support you. That's what we're trained to do. And I know that some of you were raised with, you don't have your dirty laundry outside. Don't ask. It's too much. Sometimes people call me and say, I'm sorry to bother you. And I'm like, excuse me? What did you say? And I make them say it over and over again until they take it back. Because it's never a bother. Ever. I am here to support you. I've been trained to do this. I've been doing this for 40 years. I am trained to work with people to move through their challenges, to heal from that. Oh, unless some of you don't want to be free and you rather carry that burden around for the rest of your life, you can have that too. I'm okay with it. Doesn't matter to me. But I want you to know that we're here to support you. And if it's too uncomfortable because you know us, then there is a prayer line that you can call. It's a free, toll-free number. Do those still exist, actually, toll-free numbers? CSL, Centers for Spiritual Living, have a prayer line, World Ministry of Prayer. There are 1,000+ licensed practitioners in our organization that will support you in a heartbeat. Their list is on the website. Reach out to them. I have 3 practitioners. I work with them every week. They're prayer partners, but I think of them as my practitioners. I need them to get through the day sometimes, to get through the week. There's a lot going on in life, right? And so we work with that because we look for inspiration. And I know many of you read and you get inspired. Many of you meditate and it sets the tone for the day. Many of you do spiritual mind treatments or read them. Many of you look for inspirational music or movies that kind of get you up and going. So keep doing that and keep remembering that you want to bring that greater balance to life all the time until the tipping point is, I'm in the spiritual default now. Which means that the truth is more powerful, more in front of me than anything else. And I know this is true for you already. You've proven it already, at least once, that this is possible. And that means you can do it again and again and again. So I have a lot of faith in each and every one of you, and your resilience, and the power within you, and the truth within you, and the guidance that is available to you. And the love that is everywhere present for the taking. Now let's have a little more music with Andrew.
It's perfect. It ties in so well.
Oh, excellent.
So it was another night of taking out the garbage. And I looked up and I saw Orion. And I've always loved Orion. It's very easy to spot in the sky. And I don't know, my brain started going about how, the light takes thousands of years to get to us. So it probably looks completely different now than it actually looks to me down here, even though it be from my perspective, but whatever, these things your brain does. And I suffer from seasonal depression. It's just a thing in my life, and that's okay, and it happens, but I just couldn't seem to shake it. I couldn't seem to get above the rim of the bowl, And it was one of these moments where I thought to myself, Orion doesn't give a crap about my problems. and for whatever reason, that was a little kick in the butt I needed to just get out of it, It's like, it's got, light years of space to go through. It doesn't care that I feel a little grumpy today, that I got a little, I feel sad or whatever. So I wrote this song called Orion. My hope is that you'll hear this song. The next time you're out in the winter, you'll take a look up and see Orion and go like, yeah, that's what that song was. And it'll be your in the nicest of ways. Well, Orion, keep me safe tonight. I've been aiming way too high, and I can't see it fall. This confusion on the ground, would it be me or them I'm letting down? If I were like you, I'd travel light, hunting through the endless winter's night. Know if given time I'd get it right, I'd see it all, starting with the fall. The time it takes your life to reach through years of empty space reminds me to be grateful I'm alive. And here alone you offer me perspective in your shield, changeless through 100,000 lives. Oh, if I were like you, I'd travel light, hunting through the endless winter's night. Know if given time I'd get it right, I'd see it all, starting in the fall, starting with the fall. Well, Orion, keep me safe tonight. I've been aiming way too high.
All I can say is wow. Wow, from this inspired talk by Reverend Frankie. And Andrew, what a blessing you are. Someone this morning said to me, he's a real poet. And honestly, yeah. So thank you. Great service. So, divine discomfort. How do we move from divine discomfort to divine comfort? We know lots of ways. We know lots and lots of ways. And what we do know is in our teaching that we are always on an accelerated path of transformation. And that's why it feels so damn uncomfortable. It really is tough. And who hasn't felt anxious or depressed or angry or worried or you name it? All those feelings are all so human. And we forget that because we tend to blame ourselves and criticize ourselves for what we label our negative feelings. What we need to do is what Reverend Frankie said, come back to our resilience. And resilience is an interesting word because this morning I was thinking about it as I was preparing, and I said, has a re in front of it. So let me see, is there a silience? Is there a real word, silience? Is it re something? And this is what I found.
Wow.
It was pretty,
Yeah.
it's like remember, reflect, repent, rejoice, right? Everything is a re in that way. Silience is a noun. And it's the kind of unnoticed excellence that carries on around you every day, unremarkably.
Interesting.
It's the atmosphere that we're in, right? It's the divine love, the divine atmosphere we're in. And it includes the hidden talents of friends and coworkers, the fleeting solos of subway buskers, the slapdash eloquence of anonymous users, the unseen portfolios of aspiring artists, which would be renowned as masterpieces, if only. So what we see is that the resilience is always here, as Reverend Frankie was saying before, and we come back to it. This life is all about forgetting and remembering anyway, forgetting that we're one with God, forgetting that that there is love everywhere, and remembering. And so I would like to take us to a path of remembrance this morning. So I invite you to close your eyes and get yourself comfortable and just feel the comfort of being held on a seat. You're sitting on a seat, you're being held all the time. And this is actually symbolic of the way God is always holding you. God is always holding us. And so as we go within and we remember that life is filled with positives, negatives, and as we learned this morning, and probably perhaps even relearned, that we do have this negativity bias, and that we always need to be working with that. Not because we're flawed, but because we're human. And it's part of our path as humans transforming into the divine that actually gives us the fodder for our transformation. And one way to look at transformation is, I had this image as Reverend Frankie was speaking this morning, the image of being in a spaceship, like on Star Trek, and getting to that point where you're going to jump to light speed. And there's all this pressure building up because the resistance is building up. The resistance to moving through into another dimension is uncomfortable, and yet it's necessary. We cross over into a new dimension, but it doesn't feel so good. Some of us are fortunate to feel that as exhilaration and excitement. The rest of us, like me, tend to feel that as discomfort. And so you just acknowledge the discomfort and you just allow the discomfort. And so I would like you now to just go into your heart space and take a breath. And as you take the breath, you remember that this is the breath of God. This is the breath that's always breathing you, always breathing me. And in that breath is vitality and life and everything you could ever need or want. Because it's the essence of God's giving this to you. So I invite you now, as you're reflecting upon that, to also bring to mind a challenge you have been having lately. A small challenge, a medium challenge, not a really big challenge. Something that you are aware of, or even now becoming aware of being a challenge. And just allowing yourself to be with it. And in allowing yourself to be with it, you move into the beginning of acceptance. And the only way we can change is if we accept what is and move through it. And so as you allow yourself to just be with whatever that is, again, tune into your breath. Bring the breath deeper into the heart space, all the way down to the belly. And pause for a moment and exhale through your mouth, fully releasing. And let's try that again. One more deep inhalation into the heart space and down into the belly. The Buddha belly. That's why Buddha has the belly like that. Because Buddha remembers how to breathe fully. And so releasing and just being with, again, whatever that challenge is. And now, if there's still some discomfort, I invite you to take your right hand and place it on your lower abdomen. This is where the lower chakras have a lot of concerns about safety, belonging, comfort, connection, ease. And when this gets stirred up, when this part of us gets stirred up, it kind of hijacks the higher chakras. And so you take a deep breath into that belly again and pause for a moment, a comfortable moment, and then release fully through your mouth. This is where all of our survival instincts are. Now I invite you to take your left hand and place it on your heart. And now what you are doing, maybe as intense as the belly felt, you are now placing your hand on the largest electromagnetic field in your body. And in your heart is all love, all faith, all peace. The heart always remembers one's oneness with God, one's oneness with life. And so now breathe in from your heart and down to your belly. And then back up. And do this a few times. There's a reason to do this. Because the heart then is beginning to entrain the lower bodies into ease and comfort. Ease and comfort. And with every breath, you can feel your heart sending that energy down to your lower chakras and lifting them up and creating more ease. And this is a great spiritual practice. I do it. And what it does is it brings you back to the peace, the calm, and the ease. So all you have to remember is that the divine comfort is always in your heart. It's that simple. And in meditation, one can do this for as long as they want. And in that way, you move yourself from the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight response, to the parasympathetic, which is rest and digest. And the reason why I believe we do our healing, body heals in the middle of the night, is because we're relaxed. And as we allow the relaxation to happen, the healing happens. So you can heal even more intentionally by doing what you could to stay in the parasympathetic, to stay in the ease, grace, digest, and divine comfort atmosphere. And so I invite you to take another deep breath all the way down from the heart to the belly, and then out. And now notice as you think about the challenge you had in the beginning. Notice if it feels any different, if it's any less dense, if it's any less intense, if it's any less concerning. And so I invite you to use this practice. Use this practice whenever you want. I'm proof that it works. And so let's take one more breath. Deep into the belly, releasing fully and relaxing. And now I invite you to take your right hand and place it on your top of your left hand at your heart center. And take one more breath. And the intention of doing all of this is to help regulate your emotional state so that you can think more clearly, you can have more confidence, you can plan with a clear head. And I like to think that the esoteric, the Coptic, esoteric Christians way, way back when They did a lot of body exercises. They did a lot of work with their hands, the chakras, and it helps the mind and the body so that you can feel that sense of being in full alignment with yourself. And anytime you're in full alignment with yourself, you're in full alignment with God. So I invite you to just take one more gentle breath and open your eyes when you're ready. Thank you for doing that with me.
Thank you, Gary.
You all look so salient. I love learning new words. It's just like in treatment, the first step is
Recognition.
recognition. It's got that re-word, which means again and again and again and again, right? We do it over and over again. So now it's our time to support this spiritual community. Some of you give, some of you don't give. We have no expectations. We just invite you to share your gratitude for this community, for being part of a spiritual community. So bless your gift. This is an important time to notice the negative stuff that gets in the way. They're asking for money again. That was mine growing up Catholic. Asking for money again, right? Or I don't have enough. Just notice that and just let it dissolve and just remember that you're inherently abundant. And so just give what you love, give what you can. There's many different ways to give. We have Venmo. Our website has PayPal. You can give in person. You can give any way you want to. And we're going to do a little affirmation as the basket passes. There's envelopes in there for those of you that like to use your tax-deductible gift. At the end of the year, we just need to know it's coming in. So we need your name and your information. And I know many of you do that. I do. I love my tax deduction. So if you're writing out a check, just keep the basket moving and then it will come back to you. So let's do this affirmation together. In this moment, I accept that I live in an abundant universe. I am open and receptive to my greater good, always and forever. And so it is. So, just a reminder, yoga's tonight. Anyone wants to join us? On the flyer is Hannah's phone number and email for you to get your Zoom link. It's really very sweet and very relaxing.
Excuse me, I just want to say, did you say once that it could also be chair yoga, so it's for all different?
It's for anybody, yeah. She'll tell you if there's certain postures you can't do. She'll give adjustments, yes. So I want you to take another moment to just kind of close your eyes and just feel that gratitude for this spiritual community, whether you've been here a long time or this is your first time. If it is your first time, you get a free book. Grab any book from that shelf over there. We'd love for you to have those. And I think somebody brought some snacks today, so we'll have some snacks. We just feel that gratitude for being part of the spiritual community. Because that's just a real gift for me. I cannot imagine being without this spiritual community, without this teaching. And as the basket comes around, bless it if you're not giving today. And Andrew, come back and do another song for us.
Okay. This one is in front of me. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. Nope, that's not it. That's not it either.
Just do them all.
You know what? I gave you a song to look at. Remember, Frankie? Frankie, I gave you a song to look at. Remember?
Yes, I gave it back to you, no?
No. No, you put it somewhere. I think. Is that it? No. All right. It's okay. Hold on. We'll figure it out. I'll do my best. Oh, here it is. I apologize. I have it. I'm so sorry.
Very resilient.
Oh, resilient. I was kind of quaking in my boots because I don't know this one. So I wrote this like right at the beginning of COVID. When that happened, you know, you're just and everything to a phone or a computer or whatever. It was very odd. So I never got any feedback on it. So there's a lot of songs from then that I just don't play very much. And some of them I forget, which is kind of a neat thing. It's like Christmas. You know, like cleaning out your car, and you're like, or you get that jacket, and you're like, oh, I have $20 in here, you know. To just remember these songs. It's called Stronger Than Ever Before. And thank you, by the way, for listening, because I feel I have been given this gift. And it's a wonderful thing to share. So thank you for listening. Little Jenny Wren, all puffed up against the wind, turned her shoulder to the cold so she can warm her wings again. Red cardinal in the snow gives no thought of letting go. Don't give in because it's hard now. It's the pain that helps you grow. Life gets brittle, dreams get broken, hearts get torn, harsh words spoken. God won't give what you can't handle. You get knocked down, but when you stand up, you'll be stronger than ever before. Ready for more. My friend Kenny's heart is hurting, 'cause a love he thought was certain turned around without a sound. Took his son, closed the curtain, cut the light out of his life with the dull edge of a knife. He won't think about tomorrow, but I know he'll be alright. Life is brittle, dreams get broken, hearts get torn and harsh words spoken. God won't give what you can't handle. Get knocked down, but when you stand up, you'll be stronger than ever before. Ready for more. Every time things seem in order, they go spilling on the floor. How I wish I had a quarter for every little war. Life is brittle, dreams get broken, hearts get torn and harsh words spoken. God won't give what you can't handle. Get knocked down, but when you stand up, you'll be stronger than ever before. Ready, stronger than ever before. You're ready, stronger than ever before. Ready for more. Ready for more. Ready for more. Thank you so much.
So how blessed are we, right?
Yeah.
How blessed are we?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm now honored to do the closing spiritual mind treatment, and a reminder that the healing circle's on Friday night. Everyone is welcome. Okie doke. Okie doke. So let's just take a breath and know that we're breathing that breath of God. We're breathing the infinite source, which is the resource for all of life. And as the resource of all of life, I know that God is resilient, God is strong, God is infinite and indestructible. And I know that since God is everywhere in everything and in this service this morning, and all the blessings that accrue from it, God is giving. And so I know that we have been given something this morning in our service, that we have been fed in a way, nourished in a way, spiritually, emotionally, in a way that we begin to see, know, feel, and activate our own resilience every single day. And for this I am grateful. With a heart full of gratitude, grace, and appreciation, I release this word into the universal law of life. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, it is already now done. And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen.
Amen.